G'day everybody, how you doing? Bit of a break from the usual. I thought since I wasn't heading back out west until next week, till Monday, I thought I'd be having the weekend off, but we've got a container ship here to unload down at berth 4 in Townsville, so Steve's asked me to come down. I'm in one of the Rentco trucks in the Volvo, in the FM12, which is the one with it's got the I-shift in it, and they're down here to unload these containers off this ship and take them over to the container holding yard at NSS. So they're going to be doing that for about 5 or 6 hours this evening for something to do, which is alright. I mean, I could be sitting at home watching the V8s being bored, but no, I'd rather do this. This will be alright. Just going around in circles and dropping off containers, so you can't complain about that. So I might get a bit of video footage as the night goes on, as we get a bit of a sunset and some of the action and what they do. I don't know if they're going to be using the derrick cranes or if they're going to be moving their big crane into position or what they're doing, but yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, containers for the afternoon. So here we are down at the port. This is the ship that we're unloading from, the Townsville, a Monrovian registered container ship. And so far we've only moved a couple of 20 footers off, and now we're going to get into some 40s and then back to 20 footers, I think. So we'll just see how we go. Pretty wild. She's out of control, the old container ship. Look at this shit. Look at this smash into the ship. Old cranes bouncing around all over the place. So here we are, as I said, down on berth 4 at the Townsville port, unloading a container ship, the Townsville. It's a Monrovian registered vessel, and we're unloading 40-foot shipping containers at the moment. The safe working limit on these cranes, on the derrick cranes on the ship, are 40 tonne, and we're almost, I wouldn't say exceeding, but we're getting close to the bloody limit, because they certainly are having a bit of trouble with lowering the containers down. And if you see there, you can see the big hydraulic rams on either side that lift up and down, but we also got, of course, the cables. Now it's when they're using the hydraulic rams to boom out, basically, to move the load outwards, that it's starting to get a real bounce up. And the hydraulics, actually, they must have like big accumulators or something that take the shock load, and they're bouncing up and down, and the containers are starting to get a bit out of control, smashing into the side of the ship and into other containers and stuff. So it's a bit bloody crazy at the moment. So yeah, there's all sorts of containers. There's like these flat pack containers with just loose stuff strapped onto them up here. I was wondering why they had these containers open. The doors are actually wide open as they're transporting them, and inside them is bags of bloody onions. Now, whether the onions come from Australia and they're going somewhere else, or are coming from overseas and getting unloaded in Australia, I'm not quite sure, but that's what is inside all of these containers, is bags and bags and bags of onions. So any open container that you see seems to have got fresh produce in them. But yeah, there's quite a bit of weight on the, as I said, in these containers. When the ship's derrick cranes reach out, they're reaching out probably maybe, well, the one that they're actually using is mounted on the centre of the ship, behind the wheelhouse. It's centre mounted, like across the beam of the ship sort of thing. And so the weight that's pulling down on it, it's reaching out about 40 foot from the centre of the ship, maybe a little bit more. And when it takes the weight off, when it lowers the weight down onto the trailers on the truck, the ship is lifting 3 to 4 feet on this side. On the starboard side, it's actually lifting 3 or 4 feet higher out of the water on the port side. That's how far it's listing, because of the weight's no longer hanging off the crane. So there's obviously a fair bit of weight in them to be able to move it that much. So here we go, lifting the 40-foot container off now. Basically the container just can spin around because the crane driver has no control over the actual hooks on the crane. He can move the hook where he wants to, but he can't control the swivel of it. Just all depends on the weight of the container and the way the wind's blowing and everything else, so the containers are just swaying around in the breeze and hitting the sides of the ship and hitting other containers and doing all sorts of crazy stuff, so it's pretty wild. So they're lifting this fully loaded 40-foot shipping container off the ship here at the moment. You can see the sign writing here on the side of the ship and the level that it's at. Now, what I'm going to do is take a video of the sign writing on the side of the ship as they lower the container onto the actual truck and take the weight off. And the ship's going to rise so much and so quickly, it's quite amazing. It just goes to show you how much weight is really in these containers. Quite astonishing, actually. So you can hear there, see there, they've put the container onto the truck. Now as they take the weight off, look at that. It's about 2 feet that ship's lifted up when the weight's come off it. You can see it there rocking. Quite amazing, actually. See here the crane operator's having to, there's a crane operator up there, he's having to drop the cradle down between 2 there and 1 container there to pick up this other one on the bottom. They're doing a pretty good job. It's just the crane when they're unloading it down onto the dock that seems to be the problem. Now we're also bringing containers back from down the container yard to put onto the ship, so that's what they're doing at the moment. They've actually just unloaded the container off my truck, you can see there in the mirror, and they're going to lift that up into place on the ship and then bring a fully loaded one back and put on my back to take to the container yard, so they're shuffling them backwards and forwards at the moment. The container that's actually going back onto the truck. We've already lifted fully loaded container off. It came off the ship, and now we've got to put this one onto the truck and take it back and load it onto the ship. So I don't know how many more containers we've got to move, but it's supposed to only be a 5-hour project. We've been here for 4.5 hours already, and we haven't moved a hell of a lot of containers, so I'd say it's going to be going into overtime, but that's alright, more money for me, and it's pretty bloody easy work, can't complain about this. Here's another container just coming off the ship and getting put on the, let's see, dig him into the concrete, mate, smash them pins. So fucking wild truck crane driving going on tonight, let me tell you. So yeah, we're going to I'll get a video again of how much this bastard rises. Jesus, it really is amazing to see the ship go up so bloody much. Yeah, like it really is. It's pretty crazy stuff. Now, because he's taken the weight off the container on the concrete, it's got the ship rocking and rolling, and as the ship rocks and rolls, well then of course the crane goes up and down and in and out, and it's very hard to control, but nothing like what it is when they actually lift the bloody container onto the trailer. Then you'll see that the truck, the ship here will just shoot up. It's just quite amazing to watch, it really is. There's the side of the ship. We'll know when the weight comes off. It's rocking and rolling a little bit at the moment. As they're mucking around with the container, putting it down and lifting it up and having a bit of fun lining it up on the container pins on the trailer. But you'll certainly know. You can see there's the container going on. They've almost got it lined up. As soon as they take the weight off the crane, which is going to be right now. The old ship will certainly shoot up. There she goes. Just sitting here waiting to get a full container loaded onto my back, and I noticed that the pilot boat is going out. Must be going out to pick a pilot up or take one out, one or the other, and yeah, so I'm going to watch it as it goes out.